Hello and welcome to another episode of Indievelopment. This time we have Sir, You Are Being Hunted. Now, Sir, You Are Being Hunted is a single-player survival game. Quite like Don't Starve. I would compare it to Don't Starve. Now, it's all randomly generated, not procedurally, but it's still a huge world. Right, so you basically, at the moment, it's very early alpha. So, any bugs you see, anything can change in this game. I hate to have to reinstate that every time, but I do, because some people just don't get it. But yes, so you can basically, at the moment, not all the features available. At the moment, there's 3 different types of biome, I suppose you would say. Yep, biome. So let's build this. Now, building it takes quite a while, because it's generating 5 islands. You start on the center island, and then you go on to the 5 exterior islands. Now, the point is that you've got to find fragments. I'm not sure how many fragments you've got to find, but you have to find some fragments. And then bring them back to a stone in the center of each island. And all at the same time, you are being hunted by robots. Now, this game is set in the English countryside. So, very common to me, very familiar, of course. With very English towns laying around and villages. And the robots are very English. Let's just say that. As you can see, it takes quite a while to generate. Right, the center island is currently generated, so we should go into a cutscene as soon as it's loaded in.
Sir, if you can hear this, then the experiment has gone terribly wrong. I fear you may be trapped on the archipelago, but don't panic. The standing stones should be nearby. With them, and some luck, you may still be able to escape. Listen very carefully, and you might just survive. I am afraid pieces of the device are now scattered across the islands. They became quite hot during the experiment, so perhaps you could look for the smoke. Bring any you find back to the standing stones, then we should be able to get you home. I'm dreadfully sorry, sir, but this does mean postponing dinner preparations. I do hope you remember to eat something. You must try to keep your strength up. Perhaps some tea and biscuits from one of the nearby houses? The residents won't mind because they're not at home. Oh, and do be careful, sir. You're being hunted.
So that there was sort of the, I don't know, backstory to say you're being hunted. I don't know if it's a backstory per se, but it's basically the goal is to get these things. Now, this is, as I said, a survival game. So, you'll see that there is things like binoculars.
Very useful.
And food.
Now you can observe your pursuers while
and inventory Tetris, which everyone loves. And then this is a standing stone, which lets you save. You should probably save quite regularly in this game because you will die. You can only save at boats, which are at the far corners of each island.
You've found one. Return that fragment to the standing stones and leave it there. You'll be one step closer to home.
So yes, you have to find these fragments that are thrown about. Double-click them.
We're making progress. You might survive this after all.
They go into this, and then these blue orbs start to flow out of the rock, which I believe lead to the next fragment. So yes, this is a survival game, so as you can see in the bottom left you have your health and your vitality, and a visibility meter. Now this is very alpha, very early alpha. It's only just been publicly released. It was open to the people that kickstart the game. It's made by Big Robot. So there are quite a few bugs in it at the moment. One of which is you can be completely visible at times. Now, if your vitality goes down, you regenerate health slower. But if it goes down to 0, you begin to starve. So, you can let it hit 0. And I believe any food regains it to 100. These orbs like to play games with you, if you hadn't noticed. But otherwise, yeah, you can just let it go down, but you won't regenerate health as quickly. Now, this is one of those games where you most likely will die when you first play it, unless of course you're some sort of master of video games, unlike me. Don't expect me to live too long, because I am awful at games. And to be honest, I'm not going to do what I'd normally do in this and stay away from all the towns. Now, the towns are normally where all the robots spawn. Here you can see one of the fragments smoking away in the distance, and a boat over there so we can save when we've got the fragment. There's this blue orb led us to the fragment. And then we can start running a bit, just so we can get there quicker. And hopefully, there isn't any robots nearby. This game is currently available from the Humble Store, sorry, not Humble Bundle. And Steam Early Access. Doesn't need to be green-lighted, so that's good news. Because it's certainly worthy of it, as is Tower of Guns, though. Yeah, as you can see in the inventory, which is I need to rebind that key so bad. Control settings, E is interact. Can E, oh, what can be inventory? What's F? F can be inventory then. As you can see, the fragments take up a hell of a lot of room. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to this boat, we're going to swim. You can swim in this game, thankfully. Saved me quite a few times. Because robots, as you can probably guess, cannot swim. They're very steampunky robots. It's all very English, this game. Also, as you can see at the moment, it is daytime. There is a day and night cycle in this game, which we will eventually experience.
There are a number of islands in the archipelago. Each of them is likely to have fragments of the device for you to collect. Try not to get lost.
So you use the boats to travel to different islands, but there's no point in me going to different islands, really, because I can just get all the fragments on this island first. If I survive that long, which I most likely won't. Now, as you can see, the compass at the top, the circle points to the standing stone, the pentagons point to boats. Now, the chances are when we go back to the standing stone, well, we'll have robots there by just chancing. Robots react to sound and sight. There are many different types of robot in this game. What is that? Do I even want to know what that is? We should go explore that, I think. It looks like one of those, like, communication towers that you get. It seems very foggy. And over there, this seems to be a campfire. Oh, here's the standing stone. And there's a robot, see? Thankfully, it looks as if he's moving away. And either way, he won't be able to catch us this far away yet. However, you can be seen for physically miles in this game.
I'm putting the kettle on now, sir. We'll have you home in no time.
You've got 2 fragments now. What is this? I didn't see this the first time. Is there anything to collect?
I know you're not used to preparing your own
I haven't
meals,
got any food to cook.
but I'm sure you can master roasting game on an open fire. That
See, it's
smoke can be seen
very
for
quickly
miles,
becoming
however,
dark
so
now.
do be quick.
And yes, fires can be seen from miles, so yeah. You can see that robot is eventually making it toward this sort of sky bot. That's where the old one was. Okay, let's not try and get it because it's not there. So if we walk away from that robot, just slowly. I think I may have heard. I have heard robots. Now you can see this game comes into its own, really. Now, suddenly got very tense, as you can tell, because I'm not near anywhere. I'm in an open field, and there's not exactly anywhere I can hide. But I want to go over to that barn and that house, possibly a cathedral building. I don't know. Could even be a town. If it's a town, we are slightly pooped. If we get too close. We have no weapons yet. There is combat in this game, of course. It's not a one-sided game, thankfully. But yes, to loot things, you basically find dead robots and buildings, basically. Now, hopefully, you're getting pretty close to a robot. God, right through that hedge. Oh God, there's one right there. Please don't come any closer. Something tells me we might want to get away from here very quickly. However, we cannot run because we are too close and they will probably hear us. And that balloon's also coming over. The spotlight is basically its main scene here. It can see just outside the spotlight, I believe. But its main sort of area of cone of vision is the spotlight. In a similar way to Daisy, the enemies tend to spawn around the loot. So, you know that if you're going for loot, you're going for risk as well. For example, you can see over there we have 2 robots, possibly, smoking their pipes, wearing their hats and monocles. Now if we can sneak out through this little gap. No, of course not. Oh God, that balloon's getting extremely close. Now I could wait for it to pass. And the robots do speak English, however, it's very hard to tell what they're saying because of the modulation in their voice. But I'm sure it's something along the lines of, I'm going to kill you, run, you little wimp. I have a fear that they may have seen me. And over there is another fragment. Oh God. Balloon there. Robots. At the moment, the visibility meter is a bit hit and miss, I've been told by some friends that basically even when you're at this visibility, they can still see you for the mile sometimes. So let's hope this isn't the case this time. Let's try and edge our way around. Now, because they react to sound and light and vision and all that, birds will distract the robots, as will objects you throw around. So any sort of thrown object is generally not seen as a weapon, more as distraction techniques, rocks and bottles and all that. And you can also, say, scare away birds using the rocks and bottles to then attract the robots towards the birds instead of the bottles. And I believe at one point, when they first implemented the whole... Oh God, there's another one over there. when they first started to implement the sound stuff, that the robots would scare each other. Thankfully, that's since been fixed, I believe. And we had a fragment over there. We've got one over here. Another one over there. Oh, God. Now we have to be careful because we can be seen for miles, and that is not... Another one over there. Wow. If we go get that one first. If we get this one first, just so we can leg it. Just in case. It's very early in development of this game, and hasn't got anywhere near the amount of features that they're intending to put in as of yet. So it's got some great potential. I mean, it's already fun as it is, and it's survival sort of genre it hasn't sprung up, but it's suddenly become survival once again, because it stopped being that for a while. Now, as you can see, I'm going to have a problem here. I don't believe I can fit more than one artifact in my inventory at a time at the moment. However, I may be able to fix it. If we look at our inventory, I will be able to move that up there. Yeah, I don't have enough, but if I can move the binoculars up, I believe I might have enough room. And I suppose this is another one of the mechanics when it comes to these games, is the whole inventory Tetris. So if I eat my canned pie, I believe I now have enough room for 2 fragments. And we can head over to the boat first of all. And then we can begin to head our way back to the standing circle. Yes, I have enough room for 2. Okay. Now, I'm sort of straying away from the combat at the moment because I found more fragments I've ever found before in this game. All in one spot. So if we remember that to the north of... to the north are standing stones. I'm sorry, fragments. So we have to go south for the standing stone and north for the fragment. Right by the north boat, in fact. Yeah, I believe we can afford to run right about now. If not, we'll soon know. For that reason exactly. Oh god. Robots. Maybe I'll just sneak into this building. Is this the same barnyard we were at earlier? Possibly. Now, I would try and risk going over there and getting some items, but I have 2 fragments on me. That's the sad thing about this game. I don't think you'll ever really get to see the robots up in full detail. Because you're always going to be too busy hiding from them. Well, and of course you're some brave person, you go and fight them, which is not me. It's becoming daylight again, which means we aren't as hidden as we were before. Now we know there were robots there. Oh god, that thing's coming right over here. I have no idea what the balloons actually do. Let's just try and get past the balloon without it catching us. Might have just made it. Right, there's a building here. Let's go in that building. Oh god, where are these robots? You can hear them for quite a distance, which really puts some fear into you. feeling they might have heard me running and are now going towards the sound. Which is not good news for us.
It looks like there's something useful in there. Oh, and if you find anything edible, don't look at it too closely.
Indeed. That was a very bad noise. Thankfully, I didn't hear anything along the lines of, "Who's there?" So we seem to be fine for now. Oh god, there's a dog. Yeah, we're not surviving, needless to say. Okay, maybe we are. Maybe we might. No, we are not making this alive. Oh dear. Trying to run away, but I don't think I'm going to make it. Don't quite think I will. I forgot about the bandages. So yes, as you can see at the end, that was 17 minutes, 28 seconds to survive, so I've never actually died before. I sort of gave up because I was getting too far. But yes, stealth rank is available on completion. Time died once. Cups of tea, ever drunk? None. Animals cooked, track sprung, so it gets nice little stats. And yeah, I think I shall leave it for there. I will come back next time this game has a major update, as I did with Tower of Guns, and I plan to do with all my games in this series. So expect another video soon. And if this gets to be an incredibly good game, I may even start a sort of series on it. Because it's very reminiscent of the DayZ series I did, but alone. So less laughing at stuff and more being scared. Thank you for watching. I'm going to go and play some more of this. Shall see you in the next video. Bye!